Okay, so this is the second part. Stobbs and Moss point out like this: the many rules implicit in our culture about looking at others as a tacit admission that eye contact is perhaps the single most important facial cue we use in communicating. These rules become quite evident when people are in an elevator with strangers. Also reflect on the discomfort felt when someone stares at you for a long period of time. Before offering some comparison that demonstrate culture's influence, we shall briefly discuss how eye contact is used by the dominant culture in US. As Triandis notes, looking another person directly in the eyes is very common in US. For Americans, it's not only the rule, but most members of the dominant culture, eye contact is highly valued. So by the time you're talking to American, then you have to stare at the person, and then for American, a direct gaze signal. It signals a positive connection from one person to another and communicates caring and common courtesy. If we turn away when speaking to others, we communicate that the words we are saying are difficult, or we are thinking about other things. The implication is that if you fail to use direct eye contact, you risk being perceived as showing a lack of interest, trying to hide something, or even being deceitful. But what is normal in US can be unacceptable in other cultures. In Japan, prolonged eye contact may be considered discourteous and disrespectful. It is not uncommon for the Japanese to look down or away or even close their eyes while engaging in conversation. You can probably appreciate the problems that might arise if Americans are not aware of the Japanese use of eye contact. Americans who are culturally unaware often interpret Japanese eye contact or lack of it as sign of disagreement, disinterest, or rejection. Dressers note that people from many Asian, Latino, and Caribbean cultures are also avoid eye contact as a sign of respect. This same orientation toward eye contact is found in many parts of Africa, where making eye contact with communicating with a person who is older or of higher status is considered a sign of disrespect or even aggression, where respect is shown by lowering the eyes. There is an even a Zulu saying, the eye is an organ of aggression. India and Egypt provide two additional examples of eye contact mirroring a cultural value. In India, the amount of eye contact that is appropriate depends on one's social position. People of different socioeconomic classes avoid eye contact with each other. In Egypt, where the issue is not social status but gender, women and men who are strangers may avoid eye contact out of modesty and respect for religious rules. We should point out, at least as it applies to gender and globalization, the use of eye contact women is changing as more women throughout the world enter the job market and rise to higher level. The avoidance of direct eye contact is not the case among Arabs, who use very direct eye contact between same-sex communication. This contact is not only direct but extends over a long period of time. For outsiders, this directness often appears as a form of staring. Yet, for Arab males, this visual intensity is employed so they can infer the truthfulness of the other person's words. Notice how the word same-sex were used in our portrayal of Arab eye contact. The reason is that where gender segregation is the norm, such as Saudi Arabia, direct eye contact between men and women is often avoided. In North America, the prolonged stare is frequently part of the nonverbal code used in the gay male co-culture. When directed toward a member of the same sex, an extended stare, like certain other nonverbal message, is often perceived as the signal of interest and sexual suggestion. A few other differences in the use of eye contact in the US are worth nothing. Eye contact, or lack of it, can create misunderstanding between African American and a member of the dominant culture. The reason is simple. African American do not find it necessary to engage in direct eye contact at all times during a conversation. This same uncomfortable feeling toward direct and prolonged eye contact can be found among Mexican Americans who consider sustained eye contact when speaking directly to someone as rude. Direct eye contact with superiors may be interpreted insolent. Avoiding direct eye contact with superiors is a sign of respect. Among members of the dominant culture in the US, there are also gender variations in how people use their eyes to communicate. Research on the subject of gender differences in the use of eye contact indicate that in most instances, women are much more visually oriented than are men. This characteristic manifests itself by the fact that women look more than other people, attempt to make more eye contact. They are also look at more than men. As you might expect, eye contact is a very important consideration when communicating with members of the deaf community who are employing American Sign Language. Among members of the deaf culture who are signing, there is a belief that eye contact is an especially important part of their communication process. Turning your back to people who are signing is essentially in the same as ignoring them. So delicate is the use of eye contact that you seldom realize the modification you make when communicating. So I think that's all for session 9. Thank you for watching.